Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're playing Resident Evil 5 on Professional difficulty. This is my guide for the aforementioned title, and we are on Chapter 3-2. It is entitled Execution Ground, and it's crazy once you get to the actual place where I think the executing starts happening, because there's going to be two guys with chainsaws, not simultaneously, until the end. And I died there so many times on Veteran that I didn't think I would ever do it. And I finally did, eventually. And there's a certain way to get a checkpoint, like near the end and right before the final ambush. And I don't know how it works, because one time I threw a grenade and I got a checkpoint. Like, I threw a grenade in the vicinity of where the second chainsaw enemy spawns. I threw it, I say, but I didn't kill him, and it still said checkpoint. And then when I killed the second chainsaw for the first time, I got a checkpoint. You'll see where it says checkpoint up ahead. So I don't know if there's some weird like requirement or something that you do, but I've never been able to figure it out. So if anybody has any input, I'd be glad to hear it, and I would welcome it. But this fight is very simple. You just stay up here, knock everybody back who tries to jump up here with the shotgun. And there's a guy in a tower, there's this guy, and then when you jump down, there's going to be more guys with projectiles, but not too many. So I think it's in an oil refinery. It's where the craziness starts, because it's a very long section, and sometimes Sheva is a liability, but this time she just wasn't for me. As long as you're aware, like when she's vulnerable, I'll show you at what point you really have to be on guard, because she was the result of a lot of my deaths on Veteran. But on this campaign, I did it my first try. That is to say, I should clarify that it wasn't my first try, because sometimes there was a couple of times where I just died, or I wasn't doing too good and I just reset. But like once I was going full steam through it, it was my first try. Like once I got like halfway through it, that was the only time I did it, and I was successful. So it's pretty fucking hard. It really is. And I'm gonna be laying down countless priority mines. Fucking Christ, man. But the proximity mines, they're very inexpensive in this game. You get 5 for I think 1,500, so it's a pretty good deal. It's a win-win situation for everybody. So when you come over here, I've left this cutscene in. You're gonna have some more spawners. So falling back is a pretty good idea. Not only because it gives you space, but because you can see there's a couple of jumpers over here. So just dispatch them accordingly. Yeah, a tough chapter, really is. Because even after the hectic, crazy part, there's another part where you're supposed to be helping Sheva's partner. But it really isn't too hard, and they give you a checkpoint, so it's not bad. But it's still pretty frenetic and frantic, and you feel kind of helpless. But it's all just a ruse. So I think this may be the last guy, and then there's going to be a minor puzzle, and then the next chapter is really crummy. I don't know at what point you get to use the rocket launcher on a fresh game, like on Veteran, like at what point they let you buy the rocket launcher. But I did have to use the rocket launcher on the Irving boss fight in the next chapter. And the reason for it is just because by the time you get to hit Irving, you've done what you are required to do. And in my opinion, if you can just get to where Irving is, like where the cutscene is with Irving, and you start firing at him in the ocean, if you get that far, you've earned the right to use the fucking rocket launcher, in my opinion. Because the problem with that fight is that the QuickTime events come up so fucking fast that you can't even react to them. A normal person cannot react to what it's like less than a second. They're so random, and you get less than a second to press them. like half of a second. But once you get to this area here, where you're doing the puzzle, the semi-puzzle I should say, it's hardly a puzzle, there are no more enemies. So I want to talk about the fight that's coming up, because while it's going on, I'll be narrating it and things like that. So essentially, it's just a large-scale war. This is pretty simple. Just press the X plus A button and the trigger simultaneously here. So it's a large-scale war, and at some point you get a chainsaw Majini popping in, and you don't have to kill either of them. I mean, you do have to kill them twice. I think that's the worst thing I've ever seen in one of these games. Yet, why do you have to kill him twice? Doesn't make any sense. Like, why? Like, rising up from the dead, it doesn't... I don't know. The guy's hard enough as it is. But if you know how to work with that guy, it can become just a waltz where you're shooting him in the head with a rifle, he gets staggered, you run up to him and punch him, you fall back, and you just repeat the process, and it's like a beautiful operatic waltz. So don't forget to get these treasures over here. There's a couple of treasures. And just make sure you save up some proximity mines, because I'm going to be laying down no end of them in the next part. And it's fun. It's a real blast, and it's just horrifying. It's scary. And it's not luck-based. I like that. It's not luck-based. I mean, I think there's some snakes in these weeds here, you guys, so watch out for those. Kind of it's an innocuous area, but it doesn't look like it would be. It looks like there's a threat somewhere, but there isn't. So I would bring a Magnum. Also, since Magnum rounds are so scarce in this game, and you can't really depend on pickups too much, what you do is only ever buy the capacity upgrades when you need a reload of them. Like when you want more bullets, because they give you more for free. They give you a free clip when you upgrade the capacity. So if you start at 5 and then you want to upgrade to 6, don't upgrade to 6 until you're completely out of ammo. Because when you upgrade to 6, you get the ability to carry 1 extra round, plus you get a free clip. So that's what I've done over here. Okay, so this is where the fun part starts up here. There's going to be 2 guys to take care of right away. They're sniper enemies. Make sure Sheva can protect herself with ammunition, so give her some ammunition. So just take out these guys. I think my pistol takes these guys out in 3 shots, 3 body shots. So take these 2 guys out, and you won't spawn the guys below until you jump down, which is unfortunate. And I think I'm going to be hitting these barrels right now. And then when you jump down, there's going to be a guy with a crowbar, I think, a guy with a bow gun, a flame bow gun, and a guy with some dynamite. The dynamite thrower is to the right, so make sure you take him out. Yep, exactly the collection of enemies I thought it was. So just dispatch those guys over there, dispatch him, and then to the left there's going to be a couple guys, and you really have to be familiar with the territory over here, because even though I've done this about 50 times on Veteran to try to beat it, I still got lost a little bit when I was... It's surprising how you get lost in a familiar area when there's pressure put on you. Like when there's pressure like right on your back, you could feel it almost. So I think I've mentioned that the flash grenades will take care of those things instantly, just like in RE4. But once you take care of these guys, you're going to head up and take out the other archers. And for the ambush at the very end, when you're rushing towards the door and a whole collection of enemies pop out, I would say it's best to have a grenade, but I didn't have one, so I had an incendiary grenade to use, and that's about just as well. I may not have even used it though. I may have used the shotgun, but have Sheva turn the crank and get the beetle on the other side. Get the beetle right here. It's a $2,000 pickup, and you'll get a cutscene which I've trimmed out, and the dynamite thrower is gonna pop up right here. So just take him out very quickly. There's an archer to the left, but usually these guys are gonna be on you. So you want to just use the shotgun and take them off. And the archer is generally pretty passive. If not, usually that pole is right in front of him anyway, so he has a hard time hitting you. And I think the enemies primarily come up from this side, so just be careful. It's really easy to land and then get grabbed instantly. But I think once everybody's dead, what we're going to do, you guys, is come down here. And these proxy mines that I've equipped, they are for the second chainsaw guy. He jumps from the top of that vat down to here. So you're seeing this right. I'm laying down 10 of these fucking things for him, because I know what he does. I know what he's all about. And if you didn't know, you can stack them on top of each other to do multiple damage. Like it's just incredible. Those rifle rounds disappeared, by the way. I didn't pick them up. I hate when that happens. But this is just incredibly fun. I love this. It's challenging, it's fun, it's horrifying, and it makes you feel good once you do it. So we're gonna pull this lever, gonna go to the other side, and when you touch down, you get a cutscene, which I believe I've trimmed out. And the second you touch down, the chainsaw machine pops in, and what you want to do is equip your rifle. An option here is just to go to the crank and start turning it, but the flow that I have here is the one that works for me the best. So what we're going to do is, there's some proxy mines right there too. I believe they give you proxy mines. And this guy's going to jump up right away. So this is the waltz that I was talking about. Just wait for him to jump up. Shoot him. He gets staggered. Go up to him and hit him. Hook him. Hook that fucking bitch. Fall back. Sometimes Sheva does an after kick, which is really nice. Just stagger him, run up to him, fall back, do the 180. And when you're running low on ammo, just reload instead of kicking him. But this just turns into a wonderful ballet. And I think I'm going to use the Magnum, and this puppy's going to finish him off because he's almost dead. But you have to remember that he rises up. So just pick up the loot that he drops. And it's really important to immediately start turning that crank, that wheel right there. And what's going to happen is Sheva's going to be following us, and this guy's going to rise up as we're running away and as we are trying to get to the next handhold. So quickly turn this, or have her turn it. What did I do? Yeah, just have her turn it. That's what I do here. And I got so flustered here that I went the wrong way. And I was trying to see if there was no pressure on me right now. I missed that one. God damn it. It's hard to miss easy to miss those ones. So if there was no pressure on me, I wouldn't have got lost there. That's just how it works in these games. Okay, so the guy's probably going to rise up pretty soon. And you need to get over here as quick as possible. Because what's going to happen is, after you pull this lever and ride down, the only threat over here, there he is. The only threat over here is if you take too long to get to the other side. And like at this point, the handhold is going to go back to her, but swivel the camera over there to see what's going on, and prepare to do a headshot on this guy so that he gets staggered, and so that Sheva has... I missed that one too. Wonderful. Make sure Sheva has enough time over here. See, this guy almost started cutting her, but if he's about to cut her, just make sure that you stagger him with a round to the head. And then the next guy is going to drop. I think I may have left these... Yeah, he's going to drop down there. It puts him at the brink of death, There you go. Fucking shitbag. And 1 or 2 Magnum rounds finishes him off. But the threat over here, you guys, is that other Machini that's running around with the chainsaw. So, I think killing them both gives you that checkpoint. So, it's pretty damn fair if you think about it. Because even if you die over here at that checkpoint, you can start over right over there. I've never died there, but I don't know for sure if that... It just seems kind of fickle to me, and uncertain about that checkpoint. I got lost here again too. So anyway, so equip a grenade here because all of these guys are going to be right in front of you. It's pretty cruel actually. And fortunately Sheva gave me a revive, and it's just a sprint to the red door, and sometimes Sheva gets detained, and that's the problem. So if you can just get here without anybody, without a bunch of enemies clustered by the door, should be fine. And then on this sequence here, I think that staying back here is by far the best place to stand. And occasionally the guy that we're with, he fell in combat a couple of times, but the majority of the times it's not really about him, it's about you. So that's the essence of fairness in my opinion. So there are 2 waves down here. There's a lull. The guy will say that he thinks there's more coming. So what I'm going to do is plant some more proxy mines over here. I love this game because at the reset from checkpoint screen, you can go to the store every time. You don't have to go to a specific store in the game. It's just in the menu every time. So if you're ever caught up against a rock and a hard place, so to speak, you can just go to the store and buy things. But obviously you have to have the funds to do so. But even if you don't, you can exit out of the level and go grind for money somewhere, which I'm not going to be doing. So this is wave 2 of 2, and the only problem about standing here is that a heavy comes out and he can sometimes get in your way. So I would say, if you're really struggling here, what I would do is I would time it. I would time the time that it takes for the heavy to... I know that sounded fucking stupid, but it's the only way I can say it. Just clock how long he takes to come out, and then right before you know he's coming, just start running out. Like, there he is right now. So what was that, like 20 seconds, 25 seconds? So yeah, he just gets in your way, but if you know exactly when he's coming out, you can anticipate that and then get out of that little corner. And then you will be getting a checkpoint over here, so it's very fair. Okay. So you may have noticed I went from wounded status to back to full HP. And this section here, this is all it's basically just an intimidation by the game. They're gonna have another heavy come out and even another chainsaw guy, but it's just to scare you. You don't have to kill either of them, but you do have to get to the next area, and it can be pretty tricky. Sometimes when I got to the top of that ladder, they would just instantly hit me with the bow guns. Yeah, and this is a hard checkpoint, to be honest, because you have to investigate the door, you have to wait for him to do what he needs to do to unlock it, and fend off everybody, try to avoid the projectiles. I'm coming back here for safety. Okay, so he's working on the door, he's having a hard time, and soon we're going to have a hard time because there's going to be a chainsaw guy coming. They just had to put him there, didn't they? So it's pretty stressful, actually. You could put some proxy mines on top of there if you wanted to. So what we're going to be doing is just, you know, just hitting everybody who comes down here. But unfortunately, you can't knock him back. So, I mean, by the time he drops, as long as you get one slug into his sack head, the door will be open. It's on a pretty strict timer, so they do kind of force you against the wall, but like I said, it's just to intimidate you. This part up here is kind of a nuisance, to be honest. What's going to happen is there's a countdown, but it's not really so much about time as it is about trying to get to the end. It's like it's kind of a rush to get to the end zone, like in a football game. And you've got these linebackers here in the form of heavies, and I think all the enemies are the same on this mode, but I don't remember dogs being over here. And I feel kind of bad because the heavy, when I went over here, the heavy trapped the dogs, and I said to myself, damn it, people can't depend on that because it's not going to happen to them probably. But you know, you probably can just use a rocket launcher on here and kill all these guys because he's blocking the dogs, and I got kind of a free pass over here. But it's kind of about luck anyway, so you know, just take the luck of the draw there, and just try to get to the skiff as soon as possible. And then the next chapter is 3-3. Take care.